There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Hello and welcome to Talking Trots for another week. Great to be back in the studio alongside Glen Mortimer this week. Good to see you back, Glen.
Great to be back. Thank you, Hayden, for another big edition of Talking Trots. Exciting edition leading into this weekend's Retrovision Golden Nugget. And we have got the man on the favourite, My Ultimate Ronnie, and that's Cam Hart. So can't wait to have a chat to him. Been away for a couple of weeks, but enjoyed tuning in to yourself and Silky last week, finding some winners for the listeners. So hopefully Bomber's back this week and we can find a couple on Friday night.
Indeed. We won't waste too much time. Cam's busy at Penrith tonight. He's going to be jet-setting around the country across the weekend. Before we get to Cam, let's go back. His Inter-Dominion hopeful was able to score in the first round of heats, Swayze.
Manila Playboy held up the inside. Tim's a trooper. Our Money Rock's getting to the outside. Mr. McLaren, Cosimo, Little Bliss. They're into the home stretch now. Swayze first in, leads the way. Turn it up to the outside. Coming through on the inside, Manila Playboy. Swayze in front. Swayze too good. Swayze beat Manila Playboy. Turn it up.
Came into the series as one of the chief ones going for the throne, and it's remained that way. As we say, good evening to you, Cam. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, we really appreciate your time, Cam. It's going to be just a quick trip over to WA for the Retrovision Golden Nugget. Big night, and you're on the favourite in My Ultimate Ronnie. We've given you the visitors draw there in Barrier 12. Of course, you've got a very good record at this track here. You won the Nullarbor back earlier in the year on Better Zip It, so you're very familiar with it. Looking forward to having you across here in WA.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back over there, guys. Obviously, had a great time for the Nullarbor. We were able to head over there, Chase Grimston and I, and take that out with Better Zip It. So sort of been looking forward to, having a horse good enough to take over there again. And it's My Ultimate Ronnie's turn this time. And the draw hasn't been too kind to us. We have got the visitors draw, but you never know. It's only a starting position, and hopefully, everything can work out in our favour.
Certainly a very talented horse. Last start, certainly he underperformed to what we would have expected. He drew well, did a bit of work in the breeze there. All going okay at this stage?
Yeah, he was very disappointing, I thought. He's a very quality horse, and thought that the ability he has, he probably should have been thereabouts to winning that race. But hopefully, he's had a couple of weeks since that run. Hopefully it's just taking him a little longer than Jared thought for him to settle in. And I'm sure he's ready to run a big race tomorrow night.
Certainly a very interesting and one of the more even Golden Nuggets we've had here in WA. Very open race. Drawn Barrier 12. Have you had a chat to Jared, see what the plans are going to be for the race?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to have a chat to Jared about it yet. I'm probably just have a bit of a chat before the race on track. But yeah, there's a little bit of a confusing 4-year-old year over there in Perth. When I kind of dived into the form a couple of days ago, it seems like everyone sort of had their turn a little bit throughout the season. You got horses that might have started 101 last start that are starting in the market just because of their draws. So that sort of tells me that it's a pretty even bunch, and whoever gets the right run in the race is probably going to be hard to beat. So with our draw, we won't have to panic early. Being 2,500, there's plenty of time to get into the race, and we'll just assess the race as we go.
Cam probably hasn't had a chance to get hold of Jared. He's been off. I think he was at Nobu last night, fraternising there. So No doubt he's a hard man to get hold of, Jared. Cam, you are right. It does look a very even 4-year-old crop here locally. What are the qualities you think My Ultimate Ronnie has that might be able to set him apart?
I think his sheer turn of foot is one of them. I don't think there'd be a quicker horse out there. If he is able to be sat up, but in saying that, he's, a strong horse as well. He's very versatile. So I think at his best, he should shape up really well in this race. Just the concerning thing was that he was a bit disappointing first up, but like I said earlier, hopefully it's just, a matter of him settling in, and he's had an extra couple of weeks over in Perth now to do so. Off his New South Wales form, he's raced the best over here in the open grade and really been competitive. So, hopefully if he gets the right trip, he should be thereabouts for sure.
Yeah, when we saw him before his first race here in WA, and he went out and just did a bit of work out there on the track in between races at Gloucester Park. He was very impressive as they turned into the home straight. He just pulled out from behind the pacemaker and showed a really, really good turn of foot. So, we thought if he brings that race day, and to your point, if he gets the opportunity to be sat up, it does look like he's got some very high speed.
Yeah, no doubt. It'd be great to be able to drive him that way, but like I said earlier, he's very versatile, and it's being on a half-mile track at Gloucester Park. We don't want to be sitting too far back if they're not going too hard. So we're just going to have to assess the way the race is going. But he's certainly he's got the quality on his side, and we just got to hope that he brings it.
Now, you're at Penrith tonight, Cam. You're on 996 winners. Have you managed to add to that so far?
No, I haven't, unfortunately. I've just had the 2 drives so far for a second and a fourth, so both raced really well, but haven't cracked the win tonight. We've got a couple later on, so we'll see how we go with them. You
get a chance tomorrow night at Gloucester Park to add to it, firstly with Mr. Fantastic. Justin Prentice, obviously taken by your performance in the Sulkies, engaged you with this horse. Not sure if you've had a chance to speak to Justin at all yet regarding this customer.
Yeah, he just messaged to make sure I was okay to take the drive, but I haven't dove into the race too much with him yet. But it's a great opportunity to drive for Justin. He's obviously a great horseman and one of the top trainers over there. So very privileged to be able to fly over and jump on a horse like that for sure.
And is it always good to? Obviously, that race is before the big one, before the Golden Nugget. Is it good to be able to get out on the track and just get a feel for the track before you go into a big race?
Yeah, it definitely helps for sure, just to get a feel for the night, and obviously the track can play different on different nights. So it'd be great just to have a bit of a spin around, and obviously that trip over for the Nullarbor is good to I'm pretty familiar with it now, but just to keep myself sharp and probably remind myself about a few things, it will definitely help me.
Cam, then immediately after the Nugget, you're going to be setting back off over east because you've got a big assignment up there in Queensland with Swayze in the Inter-Dominion on Saturday. He has been one of the top seeds throughout the series. Of course, he conquered New Zealand when winning the Cup over there only a month ago today, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind month for you. Do you think this horse has what it takes to continue the preparation and create some more glory tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think so. He's been super impressive again throughout the Inter-Dominion heats. He's obviously had a couple of sticky barriers in the second and third round, but still really happy with his performances, and he's come through those runs, unbelievable really. Jay said he's put on weight rather than lost it through the series, which is pretty unbelievable, and seems to be in a good spot at the moment. So he's just a powerhouse horse. He's probably the best horse I've driven without a doubt, and he's come up with a nice barrier, so going into the race very confident.
Yeah, he's certainly got a good barrier. Like I said in that last heat, a bit of a sticky draw, and he finished up 4 back on the fence and wasn't really able to get out in the clear until almost halfway down the straight. Took some good ground off the eventual winner, and they ran that last quarter in 26.5, so it would have taken a while to get him going, but once he got going, he really found the line really well.
Yeah, he did. He was absolutely airborne. I was sort of probably going a little bit too quick for the runs I was trying to take, to be honest. Sort of running up on the back of horses, and the way he powered through the line was very impressive, and obviously would have loved to have been able to, get in the clear a bit earlier and win the race, but there's still promising signs at the end of the race for him going into the final.
And it's an interesting final. You've drawn really, really well. The main opposition, Leap to Fame, is out there in Barrier 6. There's quite a few other horses which can certainly be some nuisance value in this race. It's not as clear cut as what it may look. I think there's several other chances, but your big one, Leap to Fame, last time you met, you beat him in the Blacks of Fate back in July.
Yeah, we were obviously lucky enough that night to have the barrier draw advantage over him, and he wasn't able to sit outside us and beat us. So that gives us plenty of confidence coming into this race that we've got the barrier advantage over him again. But taking nothing away from him, he's an absolute champion horse. But it's probably the difference, hopefully, in the result is whether I drew outside him, whether I could beat him. I'm not too sure either. So it's a great advantage to have over such a good horse.
Yeah. How do you see the race turning out early? Because Swayze's not noted for his gate speed, but neither is Leap to Fame. How do you see them balancing up through that first couple of hundred?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to hold him pretty comfortably. Swayze probably didn't get out quite as good from Barrier 1 the other day, but, in his previous starts, he's come out quite good around some fast beginners, especially, in Sydney. So he has shown that gate speed, and I just think he'll, come out a little bit better, a couple of carts out wider in Barrier 3 and being in between a couple of runners. So I expect that he should be able to hold Leap to Fame pretty comfortably. Obviously, he's probably getting a little bit quicker out of the gate of recent times, Leap to Fame, to what he was early days, but I still don't think he'll have enough to get across him.
And of course, Swayze won the New Zealand Cup, as Hayden said a little bit earlier. Was that his first attempt at a standing start in that particular race?
Yeah, it was. He actually only qualified a couple of weeks before he set off to New Zealand in the stand start conditions, so it was a huge effort for him to go over there and take on the best, and he just handled it like the pro he is. He's a very professional horse, and he's just a pleasure to sit behind.
Speaking of professional, you were born in Junee, which is the home of the king of Inter-Dominions, Brian Hancock, and grew up there and riding track work from a very early age. And I believe your great-grandfather trained an Inter-Dominion winner as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So I started off in Junee. Obviously Brian Hancock's known as the Inter-Dominion King. He's won 5 or 6 finals. So, and welcome advice for George Hartley won back in the 70s, I think it was. So there's a little bit of history there in the Inter-Dominion for, the Junee locals. So it'd be nice to add another one to the tally.
Well, you added one last year, so looking at going back-to-back and just in your mid-20s there, New Zealand Cups, Victoria Derbies, lining up tomorrow night in a Golden Nugget, and then looking to go back-to-back in the Inter-Dominion. So a whirlwind trip. I imagine you're on the red-eye flight at midnight out to Queensland?
Yeah, I am on the red eye. Didn't want to risk leaving Saturday morning and have something go wrong, so I'll breathe a sigh of relief once I land in Brisbane and make sure we don't miss the Inter-Dominion, but sure everything will run smoothly.
Yeah, big 48 hours. Best of luck with that, Cam. Thanks so much for coming along.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
That's Cameron Hart. Really good to have a chat to him, Morts. Well-spoken young man who's having his best season yet in the sulky as well. 220 winners and counting.
Like we said, 996 wins. I think he's 24, 25 years of age. 11 Group 1s, over $12 million in stake money. This season, 21% winning strike rate, and for his career, 18%. As we said, he won the Nullarbor on Better Zip It, so he certainly is 1 from 1 at Gloucester Park. Won last year's Inters on I Cast No Shadow, New Zealand Cup, Victoria Derby, on it goes. Very talented young man. It's going to be great to see somebody of his ability at Gloucester Park, and obviously my ultimate Ronnie, who's going to be a very big chance in the race as well. So it should be fantastic.
And Swayze as well. I know he was beaten last start, and Cam would have been frustrated not to have won the race, but it could have been a blessing in disguise, given how gruelling those couple of weeks are, to have a nice soft sit on the pegs, whereas a couple of these will be feeling the pinch and coming to the end of their prep. Might have been a help rather than a hindrance.
Yeah, look, quite possible. And it's going to be an interesting race. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on Leap to Fame and Swayze, but there's a lot of other horses in that field that can certainly be of nuisance value. And if the two of them get too worried about each other, there's a couple of others in that field which are capable of getting up and causing an upset, although I don't think so. But I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I think Swayze probably rolls to the front. Leap to Fame probably goes outside him. And Swayze's got to run the finish out of Leap to Fame because he can't beat him for speed.
Yep.
So they're going to be at it a fair way from home. Yeah, it will be a real attritional test.
Certainly would, and you never know. Something just might get a nice run behind and get towed along, but I wouldn't think so. But very much looking forward to the race. Now, last Friday night at Gloucester Park, great night of racing. Certainly was a great night of racing. Holy Hecker got the favourite punters off to a good start on Friday night, easily taking care of the opposition. Rumour has it the roll with Joe Mayer beat a very nice field, saluting at $16. Paul Edward did his best to try and earn a spot in the Nugget final with a good win over Burley Shard. BJ's Boy brought up a double for Team Reed and Savelko, who were just absolutely flying. And Rockmeister gave Magnificent something to chase, home in 28.4 and 27.8 to score narrowly. Magnificent Storm just in a class of his own. And the last was a small field, but a superb drive by Mitchell Miller on a classic choice to land the money. So double to Mike Reed and to Shannon Savelko Friday night. Double for Chris Lewis, double for Dylan Edgerton Green. Friday, we also had Bunbury with a double to Aidan DeCampo and my man Trent Wheeler. Narrogin Saturday night, double to Emily Savelko. Nothing at Pinjarra Monday and Tuesday at Gloucester Park. Just 3 to Shannon and 2 to Junior. That was almost the first week we had got through without mentioning Gary Hall Jr.'s name, but he managed to land a double there at Gloucester Park on Tuesday night. So big night of racing at Gloucester Park last week. And
it'll be bigger and better this week. Of course, we got 9 events and a Group 1 to add to the fixture.
Yeah, I ask you this question, I don't know, but it's a late start tomorrow night.
Yeah. I guess it's just to align with the finish time, but it is pretty late, and it is a bit disappointing because you would assume, I don't know, Michael would be a better person to ask about this, but you would assume that the opening races, or at least the first half of the card, is when our turnover is maximised, given there's usually like a Moonee Valley rolling alongside, there's people at pubs after work having a bet, stuff like that. So when the meeting finishes at 10:23 and we've only got 9 races, that's 1:23.
Yeah, 1:23 over East. Yeah.
Are you awake at that time?
Absolutely not. I'll be lucky to be awake at 10:23. So I just don't understand why there must be a reason, but I don't understand why we would be starting our meeting at 10 to 7, given, to your point exactly, that people in the East are betting on those earlier races. And our feature will come up at 10 to 8, which is 10 to 11 East. So it's most unusual.
Indeed. And I think it is kind of to get that roll on from Australian venues into the internationals. But I have actually noticed lately that the internationals have been getting underway at 8 o'clock or even perhaps a bit earlier. So I'm not entirely sure why. It's a Sky policy, so we would have to ask someone from Sky why it's occurring. The other thing is, at least we have Albany going in conjunction, and Mandurah Dogs is always running at that time as well. Mandurah finishes at the same time. So yeah, if you are prepared to stay up that late, then you've got a feast of action from the West.
There are a couple of nice races at Albany on Friday night. In the 5th, Brody Boy, geez, that was a really, really good win during the week. Bunbury last Friday. Brody Boy, excellent drive by Emily Johnson, who's in really, really good form.
She's improved a lot. She's improved lengths as a driver in recent months.
And that was I don't know if you saw the run, but a brilliant drive there by Emily on board Brody Boy, who goes around in the 5th at Albany Friday night. He would just need to reproduce that form from Bunbury to be winning down there at Albany. And there's a nice contest in race 6 between Captain's Coat, who has the inside alley, and Jackpot Joe for Barry Howlett and Trent Wheeler. So there is some very good racing down there at Albany. They normally have some great racing throughout the season, and we look forward to filling the blanks in on Friday night at Gloucester Park with them.
We'll have a look at that meeting more in the final segment as well. Morts?
Now, speaking of segments, this segment is brought to you by Loans 123. Car loans, personal loans, travel loans, commercial loans. Who do you see?
Loans 123, Steve Sell.
The Nude Nut. Or you can contact the Nude Nut on
1800 100 100. Sorry, the hesitation was because I was taking off my glasses.
That's quite all right.
It's usually an instant response.
Loans 123 still doing the things the banks can't.
Indeed. Okay, let's go to a break. The Village Kid last week, Group 3 level. Pretty elementary stuff in the end. Morts rolled straight to the front. Magnificent Storm. The good drive in the race was Shannon Savalco. A good tactical plan by the Reeds to get behind the leader and ultimately finish in second position. So if you got the map right, you would have got the result right, and you would have got some juicy exotics as Magnificent Storm led the field home for another success in the Village Kid.
Stein giving chase. Babyface out of the inside, and then came Wild West. He goes for Magnificent Storm, and he bounded away from Blitzen by Babyface Adder, Armour Rhinestone, Soho, Dow Jones and Wild West. But Magnificent Storm is absolutely brilliant again, and he bolts home the Village Kid by 15 metres to Blitzen by. About 8 metres away, third Armour Rhinestone.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Instigator, crowd control again, sneaking through. He's trying to come through the middle, but got hemmed in again by Sweet Lucifer. In the straight, Holy Hacker is nicely clear from Instigator. El Waddell, crowd control is getting out when it's all over. We'll try and get up and run third as it switches back, but Holy Hacker clear, and Holy Hacker races home to win from Instigator. Crowd control should have finished a fair bit closer, then came El.
Holy Hacker, a horse that showed promise and lived up to that with victory. He was softened up through a 27.5 second quarter, but still equal to the challenge over the long trip and was able to see them all off. A promising horse they've got a hold of.
Certainly is. And the Mike Reid stable is absolutely going amazing at the moment.
Last 2 months or so, they've really hit their straps, the team. So
certainly have. And Shannon Savalco, not too many better. No, they've got a they've got a fantastic record. So
not sure where Shannon is. He's having the next few nights off. He's not driving tomorrow night, Tuesday. Not sure if he's suspended or what.
He's down to drive, but
tomorrow is he down to drive tomorrow night?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe he's out there tomorrow night, but then he's not driving across the weekend and early in the week. I think I couldn't see his name down.
Yeah, no, he's in there.
Yeah, okay.
Race 1, he's on All Aglow, and then he's on Mr. Mont Blanc in the second.
Yep.
And speaking of Savalcos, of course, Emily is up there in Queensland, and she is got a drive tomorrow night as part of the Young Drivers Championship, the 10th heat. So she drove a winner the other night, which was good.
Yep.
Going very well.
So she's competitive in the series. Hopefully she can get the money.
Yep. And
All
she'll
right.
be up there in Albion Park, so she'll be part of the action, which is the Inter-Dominions tomorrow night. Oh, sorry, Saturday night.
Welcoming in our tipster, Scott Bomber Hill. How are you, Bomber?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Hayden. And you?
Yes, very good indeed. And we're about to attack this Gloucester Park program. Before we do, we might have a quick chat about the Golden Nugget. Really wide open race. Do you have a lean anyway, Bomber?
I really don't, to be honest. I'm going to watch on with interest. This, I can't find an absolute leader. I just have really no idea how it's going to be run, unfortunately, but it's going to be a ripper race, no doubt.
going to be very competitive. There's no doubt about that. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the start, whether who goes forward, how many go forward, when they decide to get Miles McRonnie into the race. It's certainly one of the most even Retrovision Golden Nuggets I've seen for a long time. So not much idea on the map there, Bomber.
No, can't give any real insight. What about you guys? Any thoughts?
No, I'm just hoping that when they go across the line at the end, Tricky Mickey's got his nose in front. That's about it, Bomber.
Need to get the sponsorship money back.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
It'd be hard to make a case against him. He should, from the draw, he should get a really nice run.
Well, certainly
a race like this is going to be plenty of pressure.
Yeah, it's just great to get a decent draw. So no excuses. Going along nicely, got a good draw, just in a really, really good competitive field. So it should be a great race. You don't know, like I said, if there's going to be much early speed or what. So it's going to be a fascinating race. Very, very interesting indeed. But that's not the race we're kicking off with, is it, Hayden?
No, we're going to start with the opener for our preview. Retrovision 3-year-old filly's pace over the 21.30 goes at 6.49. Spirit of an Angel. She's got the ability. Application, the question, draws gate number 1. Number 2 is Nancy K. 3, Feeling Empathy. 4, Unlucky, a last start winner in much easier company, steps up. Number 5, Quattros. 6, Bella Ragazza, unlucky to have not won on Monday, was very close to getting the cash. All aglow in 7. 8, Sister Cherie, who is maintaining this unbeaten streak in the West, but draws 8. 9, Between Two Thorns has come back in good touch. 10, I'm a Hero. 11, Hunt the Magic. And 12, Zephyr. Who do you like, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm with Unlucky, Hayden. I thought, it took me by surprise. It took her so long to win her first race in WA. She took 15 runs to get there, but she ran some really nice races against nice opposition, and I thought she had enough gate speed here to just about hold the outside brigade. And if she can get to the pegs first, and she's capable of carving out some really nice sectionals. Last time she led, she was run down late by My Captain, and there were good enough sectionals there to win this race, I think. So comes there chock full of confidence after a 20-metre victory there on Tuesday night, and I think she'll give us a good sight.
Yes, with your man Lindsay Harper in the bike. Fortunately, preferential barrier draw, so Between Two Thorns, Sister Cherie, all out a little bit wider, so it'll be interesting. Like you said, get to the pegs and see how we go along. Currently showing here at $6.50. Not sure, do we have a market anywhere?
No.
Not up at the moment. So what sort of price do we need to be taking about number 4, Unlucky, Bomber?
Yeah, I think that's sort of $5 mark, $4 to $5. I think I'd be happy enough with that. She's no doubt she's up in class, but and she does need to lead to win, but I think she can.
And how many units would we be having if we get $4 plus?
Just the 1 unit, I think. Like I said, up in class, but really like the way she got it done on Tuesday night, and she's been busted to win one, so she might go on with it then.
All right, that's race 1.
Race 3 is the Retrovision lowest price guaranteed conditioned over the 21.30 at 7:45. 1, Doc Holliday second up now. He's got the pole. 2, the Mustang, a fiery beginner in 2. 3, Volton 10 on the comeback trail. 4, Jasper Villa Beach. 5, Cordero. 6, Longreach Bay. 7, Mr. Fantastic. 8, Tiger Royal. 9, Hillview Bondi. No luck for the Ryan Bell team out there. And 10, Thompson Bay gets a soft draw in 10. Who do you like, Bomber?
Yeah, there looks to be plenty of tempo here. The Mustang will be first to the pegs, no doubt, but 3 or 4 to his outside that are really quick beginners. So I went with a couple at odds in Tiger Royal and Cordero. Tiger Royal, he'll be each way price, I would have thought, and Cordero, he'll be well and truly double figures. So I think if they run this along as quickly as they can, then a couple of sniping opportunities here. And, they obviously need the race to be run upside down, but I think they can be the beneficiaries if it is in Tiger Royal and Cordero.
Currently showing here at $12 and $3.20 for Tiger Royal. What's the minimum price and how many units will we be having on, Bomber?
We'll go 1 unit each. I think Yeah, Tiger Royal, I think he'll probably be around the $4 mark. And, well, that's the price I'd be looking for. And Ford Hero, I think he'll be at least double figures, so $10 or $12.
$10 or $12, all right. Be a nice way to get the night off, Bomber, that's for sure.
Steel Blue boots, Glen.
They are Australia's leading supplier of work boots. Hayden, built for comfort and made for work, they are a mark of true skill, designed for comfort, durability and choice, backed by a 30-day, 100% guarantee. Whatever you do, Steel Blue boots are tailor-made to help you do your best.
We've got to go to a break now, and you touched on this race before as well. Rockmeister had his chance out in front, and in the run you didn't want to be on Magnificent, but he's a nice horse. He's free for all bound, I think, Glenn.
Certainly is. Rockmeister gave him something to chase, that's for sure, and it did look like for a while there he was going to get away with it, but Magnificent, he is a really, really nice horse and just managed to reel him in the last couple of strides. So
that additional strength has come to the boil this campaign for Magnificent. He's finding the line with a lot of temerity, which previously he might not have possessed. Here's his win last week.
Back on the inside is Valbon, then American Bullet in the straight. Rockmeister is still the leader. Magnificent trying its heart out from Valbon. Rockmeister in front, Magnificent trying. Rockmeister in front, Magnificent finishing all over the top though. Goes up, takes the lead, and Magnificent has won from Rockmeister, American Bullet, Valbon, hot foot at middle page.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
As they turn, Minstrel has raced up to Arden's Horizon, who's got a bit of a fight, and then Yankee Lincoln. Minstrel the outside though, put the nose in front. Arden's Horizon trying to come back. It was a 27-9 and Minstrel. It's going to be a bit too classy, coming away from Arden's Horizon, and Minstrel wins by 3 metres to Arden's Horizon, 15 metres away third.
I know you're not a fan of Stans, Morts, but that was a good contest.
yes.
No further comment?
No, it was. It was a good win by the Minstrel, and it was good. Good contest.
They do have a place, these condition stands. It would be nice to see them because you get races shaped like that where Arden's Horizon, who is a good quality 4-year-old,
absolutely,
draws the front line, and Minstrel has to hand him an initiative of 30 metres, and then it becomes very tactical and mathematical who is going to win the race.
See, I do like stands. That's where you've got me worked out. I do like stands when every horse steps, that's all.
Well, Arden's Horizon, he wasn't that quickly into stride. Minstrel actually began better than him, and that does prove a little significant. If Arden's Horizon began like Yankee Lincoln, if he was a really good stand horse,
flew straight out, yep,
that would make it a different tale of the tape, I think. And he went pretty slowly through that first 400 metres, Arden's Horizon, and although Minstrel didn't make up ground hand over fist, he made up his handicap relatively easily, and that may be because Arden's Horizon was still so early in the campaign. If he had have had more runs under the belt, maybe we see a different result. But Minstrel seemed to have a fair bit in reserve there, and he's a really nice horse, given he's a Group 1 winner.
He is, and as you said, had a couple of extra runs under the belt as well, so that certainly made the difference in the end. So good win to Minstrel.
Race number 4 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night is the Vale Tony Stampelia free-for-all over the 17:30 at 8:15. 1, I'm a 5-star General. 2, El Chema. Gary Hall Jr. jumps on tomorrow night for you, Glenn. 3, Armour Einstein. 4, Goodfellas, who is the first emergency for the big one. They'll be hoping they're not in this race. 5, Blitz and Buy. 6, Wild West. 7, Lavra Joe, who's first up, but he's a quality horse. And 8, Galactic Star. Who wins this, Bomber?
But I like Blitz and Buy. I think he'll just burn them off the arm and take plenty of catching. He's broken 154 here when leading at the mile, and although he was beaten narrowly on that occasion, he's probably arguably going better now than he was then. And he ran the gate really hard last week and then took a sit on Magnificent Storm before holding a couple of these pretty comfortably. And Lavra Joe, he's first up here, and although he's a go-forward horse, they won't really want to get to the bottom of him off the lengthy spell, I wouldn't have thought. So, there's some chance he might not even go forward. But regardless of what they do with him, I think Blitz and Buy's rock hard fit. And, as you touched on before, the camp's absolutely flying. And out in front, he'll do me over the mile.
Certainly very good to have Laverageau back in racing, Bomber, that's for sure. And he did trial the other day and trialled very nicely. And I know Ray Jones is very, very, very confident that he's going to come back a better horse and a much happier horse this time in. But it's just great to have a horse like him back in racing. As you said, first up over the 1730. It's a nice little field, Blitz and Buy, very quick off the arm. You would imagine just zaps these at the start and gets to the front, and he's hoping he runs a very nice second, Bomber. So what's the staking plan here at race 4, number 5, Blitz and Buy?
Yeah, 2-unit bet. I'm confident enough he leads, and as I said, if he can get down to that sort of 154 mark, then it's going to take a pretty good one to get around.
And what price would you expect there, Bomber?
I think he'll be sort of 260, 280.
260 to 280.
More than with that. I think either him and Laverageau will be pretty close together, I would have thought.
Yep. So 2 units, race 4, number 5, Blitz and Buy, around about 260 to 280 or somewhere about there.
Race number 6 on the program is the Retrovision Ellenbrook. How's it going out there?
Going very good out there. Got the team out there, Mick and Moya, going, Sam. Great people. Really good store. Excellent store. So pop out there, and of course it's, as you would know, it's the RAC double discount weekend this weekend, so no better time.
We'll speak about them again later on, Morts.
Yes, sure, I'm just trying to get the extra plug in, hey.
21:30 the trip, 9:05 for race number 6, and number 1 Street Appeal is first up. 2 Illawong Mustang is bang there. 3 Feeling Aces. 4 I'm the Mighty Lucy, luckless last time. 5 Better Move Along. 6 Me Flash, who hasn't had any luck recently. 7 Tucks and Tails. 8 BJ's Boy. 9 Might Have Time. 10 I Better. 11 My Ultimate Baxter, and 12 Torpedo Rock. Who do you like, Bomber?
As my old man would say, he's had plenty of luck, Hayden. It's just all been bad. But I'm with him. Me Flash. As you said, he's been flying, and I don't think there's a horse in this class going better than him. He's last 5 runs have been outstanding. And 4 starts ago, he was massive when covered ground from the back over the last 1,200 metres and continued to hit the line. And then he simply should have won 3 starts ago when he just got held up on the fence. And then he ran an absolute bot the last week, went 3rd. And he's bursting to win one. I have no idea where he's going to get to in the run. But I just think the way he's going, I could see him just leading up the 3-wide line here and just out-toughing them.
You've certainly given this one a couple of chances, Bomber, over its last few, and it's, as you said, it's certainly threatened to win a couple of them. Barrier 6 could be a little bit sticky, but I like your confidence. Number 6, race 6, Me Flash. For Shane Steele, what's the staking plan and what sort of price would you expect, Bomber?
Yeah, I think he'll be double. We need at least $10 in this sort of field from this draw. I think Morts, and I can see us getting that no problem. It'll be a 1-unit bet. He's a horse that does sort of, he tends to find 1 or 2 better, but I just love the way he's going and can't wait till he finds the right race. I don't want him to be winning without me being on, to be honest. So
it sounds like to me it's going to be keep going back until he gets up, Bomber, which shouldn't be too far away. And for the punters, we hope it's tomorrow night, of course. If we could get double figures, that would be a great result.
Yeah, well, there's a dog I've been following, Morts. I do a dog show on Wednesdays. And
very versatile, aren't you? I didn't realise that.
Well, I kept following him, and last night he finally repaid me. He got the money, so Me Flash, you just have to issue him an ultimatum, Bomber. That's what I said. I said, our relationship is over if he doesn't win tomorrow night, so you've got to be very firm.
I won't be quite that firm with him this time.
Well, he's not going to win then. You've got to issue
put your foot
the
down,
last
Bomber.
resort.
When he finds his absolute race, that'll be the last chance. But, to be fair, the only time I backed him recently was when he absolutely should have won. And never come off the pegs and didn't get it done. But, yeah, he'll be winning very, very shortly. He's going so well.
Sounds like a tough night, Bomber. No multi?
No, it is a little bit tough. I think we'll play a few there at value. We've got some nice prices about most of those, I think. And, yeah, if we can get one or two home, then we're going to have a good night.
Certainly will, and we're looking forward to it. Big night of racing out there at Gloucester Park for Retrovision Golden Nugget night.
Thanks for that, Bomber. Good luck.
Thank you, and best of luck with Tricky Mickey Morts. I hope he sticks his head out at the right time.
Yes, so do I, Bomber. Looking forward to it. Should be a great race, very even, so we'll be screaming, don't worry. Looking forward to it.
Hopefully I hear you from him.
Have a great weekend, Bomber.
You too. Thanks, guys.
That's Scott Bomber Hill. Hopefully a winner in there among the Morts. Bayswater Mazda.
Driving as... I know it is much better with the Bayswater Mazda. Wonderful cars. The corner of Garrett Road and Guildford Road in Bayswater. Go and see the team down there. Great range. The new CX60, beautifully appointed inside. Great service. Best coffee in Perth. And of course, great range of used vehicles as well. Lots of new stock. Get down and see the team at Bayswater Mazda.
Got to head to a break now. Morts, as we do, I've got to go back to Tuesday because there's a horse going around in the last race tomorrow night called Ambit Sire. And she was able to grit out a good win there on Tuesday. Daughter of Advance Attack.
Ambit Sire, that's how it's pronounced. Yep.
Well, actually, I spoke to Senior and I don't think he really even knows how it's meant to be said, and he named it. So
right.
I don't think he's too worried if you get it wrong. Ambit Sire, Ambit Sire, he said he wanted to name it Ambition.
Right.
And Ambition was taken previously, so then he thought, I'll do it in Russian then. So he's got Ambit Sire, which is Russian for ambition.
Fair enough. Another horse in that race, you been Thunderstruck. That was a good winner last start for Donald Harper. Beat the $1.50 favourite, short price favourite in Madam Publisher at Narrogin on Saturday night. Some great racing at Narrogin Saturday night. They
just went really well, the two of them. There was no shame in being beaten. I know she was very short, Madam Publisher, but she still went really well. 56.6 the final half, 158.4 at Narrogin's pretty slick going for the middle trip. So
certainly was.
Yeah, promising horses coming through the ranks. Let's go back to Tuesday. Had something to think about there, Ambit Sire, but gradually wore down Lucy Kane in the dying stages.
Given up the chase, but Lucy Kane's got the lead by about 3 metres. Ambit Sire is coming after Lucy Kane now, and they're well clear from Funky Music. Lucy Kane in front of Ambit Sire. Ambit Sire now grabs Lucy Kane, does the bit of work, and Ambit Sire's coming away from Lucy Kane. And then came Funky Music, and Ambit Sire races home to beat Lucy Kane by 4.5 metres, 20 metres Funky Music, and about 8 metres away Amaretto.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
You fly with me, 3/4 pivotal. He's Royal Blue. The inside out wider is Chris Appraise from Sagacious. Good times ahead, back on the pegs. Ventura, though, is safely holding Cooper. Coming on down towards the 50-metre mark, Ventura over Cooper. Good fight for third, but Ventura with 6 of the best. Ventura easily over Cooper. Third, You Fly with
Really promising horse as well, Ventura. He's building that picket fence up, well related. Nathan Turvey's had success with the family previously, and although he jinked at the start and cost himself some ground, he quickly recovered and put the race to bed fairly sharply and settled it with a 27-3 final quarter for good measure.
Certainly did. Certainly did. Now, Hayden.
Yes.
We need to find some winners over the weekend. Whereabouts are you going to take us to?
I'm going to go to Albany Friday and then Gloucester Park Saturday and Pinjarra Monday.
Very good.
Albany gets underway at 6:29 tomorrow evening. And in the first race, I've got one here that I'll back mostly the place. Probably have something on the way. Codename Elliot, race 1, number 4. Has been going better than his form suggests. I reckon he's ready to strike in a race like this, and he could fly under the radar at odds. So race 1, number 4, and then race 6, something each way as well on number 10, Fleur de Maquis, who is a very gutsy type. 26.90 will suit her down to the ground, and she's race-hardened, ready to run a very positive race, I think. Race 6, number 10.
It's a good contest, that race number 6, and last start winner in there. Should be a good contest. Anything else at Albany?
No, that's it.
It's a good card down there at Albany.
Yeah,
really
looking forward to the season.
Yeah, really good card.
Gloucester Park Saturday gets underway at 6:27. And in race number 2, I like Sanford Ash, able to get off the mark last time out at Bunbury. Did that in good style, had to make a sustained run and kept it up to score. Has promised a bit as well previous to that. So race 2, number 12, Sanford Ash. And race 5, number 6, I'm Drinking Doubles. It's been going okay for a while now. Ready to bob up and run a race in one of these. So given the draw and a record of 2 from 93, you'd expect some odds. And I think
2 from 93.
Yep,
you'd want some odds.
Race 5, number 6, I'm Drinking Doubles. Got those?
And then Monday we head to Pinjarra.
12:17 start time for the first. Race 2, number 11, Jimmy Rocks, has a class edge on these, should be too good. Race 3, number 10, Classical Ellie, has a class edge on these. Expect her to be hard to beat. And race 6, number 8, Max Legacy. First up, hasn't been seen in a while now, but is a quality mare when right. If she's close to being near her top, I expect her to be pretty hard to beat in that. Race 6, number 8.
Certainly gives our listeners something to bet on. He's hoping we have a good weekend on the punt. Like I said, last week's pacing was very good. Friday night at Gloucester Park, Bunbury on Friday. There was some. Did you see Sovrana? That was free money. Got out to about $2.10. Just settled back at the rear and just went past them like they were nailed to the fence and scored a 20-odd metre winner. Elsa May was a really good run as well. Didn't win. Just got beaten an absolute, short half head, well driven by Emily Savelko. And that's racing on Friday night as well at Gloucester Park. So some good racing throughout the week, Hayden, and looking forward to some great racing this weekend. Of course, we've got the Inter-Dominions. You tip in that? Swayze. Pretty hard to see him getting beaten, but he's a quality horse.
Well,
Leap to Fame,
I think he's second favourite. His Leap to Fame narrowly. Well, there's barely a breath between them in any case in the market. They're the clear 2.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Now,
it would be a remarkable achievement for the trainer of Swayze if he was able to win 3 consecutive Inter-Dominions with 3 individual horses.
Would be outstanding, and should be a great contest. Certainly the barrier draw looks like it could favour Swayze. Be interesting to see what the result is. Now, this segment, Hayden, this is brought to you by Retrovision. Tomorrow night is the Retrovision night with the Retrovision Golden Nugget. But more importantly, this weekend is the RAC double discount weekend. RAC members will get 10% off the qualifying purchases from your local Retrovision store, statewide or online. Finishes on Sunday night. So make sure you get into your local Retrovision store and make the most of the 10% discount for RAC members.
If Tricky Mickey wins, and you mentioned Tricky Mickey...
I reckon there could be something a little bit additional there, Hayden. That's for sure. Looking forward to it. And what do you got planned for this weekend? Whereabouts you working out tomorrow night?
I'm not doing anything. I'll be able to sit at home, enjoy all the coverage from the comfort of my lounge, and hopefully cheer home, for your sake, Tricky Mickey.
Well, that'd be nice. Every time I've looked at Twitter lately, you've been there.
Yeah, I've got the sack.
Eddie everywhere.
Timmy's back from his paternity leave.
Okay.
So there goes my Fridays. Actually, this is probably worth mentioning. In the coming year, as of January, the Twitter interviews will be ceasing at the country circuits, aside from Pinjarra. Pinjarra, they will be pre-recorded ones. Matt will be doing those down there.
Mm-hmm.
And Gloucester Park, Tuesday and Friday, will be continuing paradering.
Right.
So there will be no further action on the country circuits at this stage.
Bar Pinjarra, where they'll continue.
Yes, so where we previously were, Bunbury, Northam,
Yep.
we won't be doing those locations anymore.
Disappointing.
Yes.
Very disappointing. We get some great insights out of those Twitter interviews, that's for sure. That's disappointing, Hayden.
Yes. For the industry as a whole, for me, for many, but hopefully we can recognise as a community that they were really valuable, and people that are in power can acknowledge that, and we can get them back, because they were a valuable tool and they did encourage turnover.
So is it just a funding thing?
I think so. I think funding is being distributed into other assets. I'm not sure what they are, but RAWA have recognised that it could be better managed in other areas.
Well, it would be interesting to find out what, and I'm not saying that they can't be, but it would be interesting to find out where it's going to be channeled to, because certainly found the Twitter interviews to be extremely helpful. So it would be disappointing not to have them. But fortunately, still at Gloucester Park Tuesday and Friday, and at Pinjarra on a Monday.
Mm-hmm. I think that just about does us, Glenn.
Just about does. Just talking about Retrovision, as I do like to do, we're sponsoring the Bustleton Trotting Club as of now. So we signed an agreement with them and have some signage going up down there, and look forward to supporting Bustleton, Bunbury, Pinjarra and Gloucester Park. So
very well done. Really looking forward to the Bustleton season. That's only a couple of weeks off, kicking off too. So hopefully I can actually get down there. I wouldn't mind that, because I haven't been as a spectator in near 10 years, I reckon, at Bustleton. I remember watching the 2015 Pacing Cup from Bustleton. That's probably the last time I went. But we used to go on a family holiday down there every year, and we'd go and stay at a set of units literally on the road that leads down to the trotting club. So always really look forward to that. Great atmosphere. Hopefully I can get down there again.
I would love to go. I've actually never been.
You should go. I remember calling there a couple of years ago, and I remarked that it was more like a fete than actually a race meeting. It was just a completely different vibe than you would get at any other race club.
I imagine it would be. There'd be a lot of people down there. So I guess the good thing with a track like that is it would expose different people to harness racing that probably may not see it because they're away on holidays and think, oh, well, we'll just go and have a look at the trots and get exposed to it. So it's got to be a good thing.
All right. Best of luck, everyone that's participating tomorrow night or having a go on the punt. Hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of Talking Trots, and we'll catch you again next week.